How's it guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be discussing PEAs, so Pulseless Electrical Activities, and the thing that we will be discussing is types of PEAs. What do I mean by types? Well, you get slow and you get fast, you get wide and you get narrow. So narrow and wide, I'm referring to the QRS, and fast and slow, slow would be less than 50 and fast would be faster than 100. So typically speaking, a PEA is a rhythm that if it had a pulse, it would be perfusing. So if we see a rhythm something like this, that's not going to be a perfusing rhythm if he had a pulse. So something like what is probably an agonal rhythm is not a PEA. When we learn about these sort of rhythms, we're more focused on, is it a VTAC or a VF or a PEA or an asystole? We don't really discuss types of PEAs. So fascinatingly, did you know that if you have a fast, narrow, complex PEA, it is most likely due to shock? Meaning that there is blood loss, or there's a tension pneumothorax, or there's something else that is causing massive hypotension, and that is the cause of your cardiac arrest, most likely. If you have a slow, narrow, complex PEA, it's most likely due to hypoxia or acidosis, which go hand in hand. So if you have someone who's choking, and they go into cardiac arrest and they present in a PEA, it's most likely going to be slow because that's hypoxic or acidosis, hand in hand once again. And on the other spectrum, you get wide complex fast and wide complex slow. So if you have a wide slow rhythm, it's going to be a ABG abnormality like high potassium, high calcium, an ACLS problem like a MI of some sort, or you're going to have an overdose. If you have a wide fast complex, it's either ACS or calcium potassium abnormalities. So they're quite difficult to kind of work out when it comes to slow and fast wide. But when it comes to fast narrow and slow narrow, they're far more distinguishable. A study I found that I will link below discussed how a narrow complex PEA has a much better chance of survival versus a wide complex PEA. So that would also probably make sense, is that if someone has acidosis or hypoxia, if someone has shock, those are quite easily reversible. We can fix the tension pneumo, we can increase the ventilations, or we can improve ventilations. Those are quite quickly fixable. If you have someone who's had a massive MI, or someone who has had a massive overdose, or someone who has a massive hypokalemia, those are going to be much harder to change and probably less likely to survive. I'll definitely link that below. So I had a case that really showed me this very clearly. Was that I had a multiple gunshot patient, chest and abdomen. He was in a PEA, cardiac arrest, and his PEA was in a fast narrow complex. So I thought to myself, well, it's probably shock because he's lost a lot of blood. And suddenly his PEA changed from a fast to a slow. And so I thought to myself, well, that probably means that he's now hypoxic. And I noticed that the people who were treating the patient were not ventilating during CPR. They were in fact trying to intubate but struggling. So I suggested to the team that I think that we should stop trying to intubate because we're struggling, and that we should focus more on just BVM ventilation. So we went back to BVM ventilations, and the patient went from a slow PEA back to a fast PEA. And this was still without any pulse or anything like that. So he went from a fast to a slow. We then improved ventilation and then went back to a fast. So I thought that was a very fascinating example. Anyway, guys, I hope you did enjoy this. If it was informative, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. And if you have any comments, questions, or topics you'd like me to approach next, please drop a message below and I'll most likely respond to every single comment. Guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.